Hey guys, what is up? Welcome back to my channel. Hello if you are new. My name is Andrea Johnson. I'm a Reiki Master Teacher, energy worker, psychic worker. I help people develop out their psychic and energy work abilities and improve their lives by expanding their consciousness. So with that being said, let's dive into today's video. I asked you guys on Facebook and Instagram, what are your biggest channeling myths? So what do you guys believe about channeling that is stopping you from being a channel? So I'm going to dive into some myths that you guys gave me and debunk them and get you guys on the road to begin channeling. Let's get into it. Before we begin, I'm actually going to link some videos down below. Watch those if you're brand spanking new to channeling. If you have no idea what channeling is, watch those videos first, but just a brief overview. Channeling is actually serving as a conduit. The human body is like a conduit. Your brain is like the transmitter that's actually receiving the information, and you are just spewing it out here in whichever way that you would like to express it. So most people just talk about it, or just speak the channeling through, the messages through, but there are several different types of channeling. One of the most common ones is called automatic channeling. So you can think of this as automatic writing, where you'll just write and basically journal or something of that nature, and then channeled messages will come through. You can think of this as creativity, embarking on a creative project, or you're trying to like paint or do something in a creative nature that's actually channeling in visions or inspiration from other spiritual realms. And then you can think of conscious channeling. So conscious channeling is when you set the intention to actually connect with other beings, angels, aliens, interdimensional beings from whatever dimension so may be it. You're consciously making the decision to channel them here. That is another aspect of channeling, and you retain the information, so you remember what you're doing pretty much. You're consciously aware of it. The other form of channeling is unconscious channeling. Unconscious channeling is when you're not conscious of the channel. You're not conscious of the being coming in your body. You give up your body to this being to take it over to either deliver a message, to do whatever it wants to do in this reality. So let's debunk some myths around channeling, and then I'm going to give my own personal experience around it, because I held some of these myths too. So it will better be able to describe to you guys what it feels like, why like these myths probably existed in the first place. So common myth number one, you have to be special to channel. You do not have to be special to channel. I say this all the time in my videos. Psychic abilities are not special. Every single person has the ability to be psychic because we are all human. We all have 5 senses, and we all have the 6th sense, which is our third eye. We all have the same chakras. It is just your willingness to want to actually use it and want to practice it, to embark on the journey of spirituality, of being psychic. I don't want to say being psychic, but if you want to channel, you can channel. All you have to do is set the intention and then practice it. A lot of people don't understand that you're basically channeling all the time. I mean, think about it, guys. Your body is the conduit. It's like this avatar, right? What is powering the avatar? It's your soul. Where is your soul? In another dimension. You're already channeling it here, right? So if you truly do want to channel or actually just develop out this skill, you just have to practice it and just educate yourself on it. Expand your consciousness, right? So start reading some books, take some classes, watch YouTube videos. All these things will help reawaken this skill within you that already exists. You just need to become consciously aware of it, expand your consciousness, and then just get introduced to maybe some practices to help you understand what channeling is, to help you feel what it is, and then build your faith in it, because taking action is going to be the thing that builds your faith in it, and really what is holding you back from believing that you can or can't do it. So that's where I like to make these videos, to help bring this vibration in for you guys, to know what it feels like to share my experiences, because when I do these things, you're taking on the vibration of my experience, and then you're taking it in with your perception and your body, and you're able to either have similar experiences because you're more consciously aware, or relate it to some that you've already had but maybe just didn't know. Next myth: channeling is dangerous. No, it is not dangerous. You're channeling right now your soul into this physical reality, right? So it's not dangerous. I think where people think it's dangerous is because, thank you Hollywood movies, but they think probably more so the unconscious channeling is dangerous, I'm just gonna say, because we think of things as like dangerous as a like possession, or some being takes over your body, or something of that nature, and it is not like that at all. You do not have to choose those things. And this kind of brings me to my next one that I'm reading these off my phone, was channeling is dangerous and a being takes over your body. So I'm going to relate those kind of like one and two in the same, because I think that's where people think it's dangerous. But a being doesn't really take over your body. And this is difficult to explain because I've had this happen on multiple levels. The main channeling that I do is automatic channeling, which is the creativity. Very, very, like, love it. That's God coming through me. And the conscious channeling, when I actually consciously decide to connect to these beings and I get the information coming through. I've done unconscious channeling by accident. And this is where I think that it can be dangerous, but at the same time I was still in control of it, but I didn't realize what was happening until it had happened. And when I became conscious of it, I was then able to choose to get this being out of my body. So what do I mean by this? You have the conscious choice every single time. When you set the intention to channel, it is consciously done. Even if it's by accident, because I've done it by accident, you can choose to stop it in the midst of it. You can recognize these things that are not you, that you don't want to express in this reality, and you can choose to stop it. Your consciousness is always there. You are always in control. And if you think that you are not, you are giving control over to another aspect of you. And this is where the dangerous thing comes into play again, is that if you are fearful of channeling, that you think that these evil entities are going to come in, they are subconscious aspects of you. The same thing if you were going to channel an angel. They are another aspect of you, because we are all one. And I've felt this in channeling, and this is where I felt the oneness, and I have seen reflected back to me when I've looked at an angel and I've saw myself in that angel. Yes, they are light beings. I've seen them. I say beautiful, but they was just a very tall, light, energetic being. But I saw myself in that. My energy was in that thing. And that is where it clicked to me that we are all one. And the same thing of when there was a lower level energy that entered into this body, that it was like, I'm going to share an experience here, guys. I got into such a deep state of meditation that there was a being that actually started, it was very freaky to me, and I'll say this, it freaked me out because I started getting messages coming through of like my vibration changed in the body, which is one that was not familiar to me, where I was like, wow, okay, why am I getting these feelings? Why am I getting these thoughts? This is not familiar. This isn't Andy. And then it was almost like I was witnessing it happening. And then a message came through that was like, I did it. I got a body. That was like, I'm in a body. Oh my God. And I was like, why did I just like say that? You know what I mean? The script, the narrator in my mind said that. And I was like, oh shit, I'm pretty sure something just got in my field. And then I remember in my old spiritual room, I had a mirror in there and I would do mirror work. And I actually looked up at the mirror and I looked at myself, and it was just message after message was like, oh my God, look at this beautiful body. Look at this. I have a human, like, you know, all this information came through, and I was like, okay, we're done. We're not, like, I was still consciously aware of this being that came in. I did not consciously call in this being. That was the scary thing to me at the time. This was years ago, guys, when I was first starting out. It came in, and when I recognized this, and this is where I've had experiences, and then later on, I've learned through actually learning how to channel and not being unaware, and that's where I feel like the fear comes in. So I kicked it out. I was literally like, no, this is not who I want to be. This is the message. Like, I don't like these messages. We're done. So I was like, get out. I literally said, get out. And it was gone. You are in control of it. Now, there are times when, yes, I channel and I become unconscious, and people can probably think of dangerous as this as well too, or like possession. But I gave the permission. I gave the permission before I even became unconscious of it. It's almost like you're already on this energetic roll, I want to call it. This energy is already kind of coming into your body. You're already like, either the thoughts are coming in, you're already doing the action of either channeling, or even sometimes to speak of, like, people say that like beings just take over their body and they do like an action and they want to call it an evil action or whatever, but you're already half-assed conscious of what you're doing, or the thoughts were already there to begin with before you actually took said action or gave over full control. Because yes, you can give over full control. It almost feels like somebody like takes you're like out of your body almost. I don't know how else to explain it other than, one, I either black out and I don't remember a damn thing, but I gave them basically control, or two, it's almost like you separate from your body. And to get to this level, it is a willingness to surrender at that point. Is that these energies influence you or come in and kind of like take over, but it's still you that's responsible for it. Like, you allowed that because your guard was down. You're already kind of on this energetic roll, pretty much is the best way that I can describe it. You're already going down this pathway, guys. And the last part of giving up control, you already half-assed conscious of it. Okay, we're going down a whole nother rabbit hole here, but essentially you guys get the idea. You have to consciously give up that control. And even in the moment, if you get fully taken out of it, you still fully had to kind of go down that path consciously to get to that point. Anyway, on to the next one. You don't remember. Okay, so we already kind of talked about that. The unconscious channeling, we already went down all that rabbit hole. That is when you don't remember, but you had to consciously either make the decision or get to a point of allowing a being to come in already consciously going down that path. It takes a long time to achieve. No. I was channeling without even realizing it. And like I said before, guys, you guys channel every single day. You channel inspiration, you channel creativity, you channel your soul here. It's very easy because this is what the human body is. It is basically a conduit. It's a bridge between the spiritual realm and the physical. This all is the mind of God at different levels of vibration, right? We are just matter. Matter vibrates it's an energy that vibrates at a different frequency. More of the spiritual just vibrates faster. So we can't see it, but we can feel it. And that's what emotions are. That's, what words are. Frequency. Everything literally in the universe is a sound. That's the way I've seen it. That's the way I saw the Akashic. It's all sound. No, it doesn't take a long time to achieve. You just have to build your faith in it, because we've been programmed to think that these things are something special when they're really not. It's just life, and it's your understanding of what life actually is. And we're just so programmed to be in like these little boxes and think that life is just, very 3D, very human, when there's so much more of what a human actually is in this experience here and what it's meant for. It's very special. It's unfortunate that a lot of people don't ever break free from the box. Part of being a light worker is to expand people's consciousness. Okay, next one. You won't be able to turn off the senses. False. You can turn them off. Because it's your conscious awareness. You can turn them on, you can turn them off, because we are constantly creating from our thoughts. Thoughts create everything. That is how we're creating this reality, right? Even this whole realm, the universe is the mind of God expressing itself in whichever way it can at different levels of frequency. So you have the power of your intention, which is the mind of God, to turn it on and off at your will. If you don't want to see some things, you don't have to. And where people get scared, and even like I've had this happen to me before too, when I first awakened spiritually, it's almost like you're like this huge light, and all like the moths just come to you, and you're really not educated on a lot of this stuff. I didn't know anything about channeling. I didn't know what I could and couldn't control. I still thought of spirits as something outside of myself. I was very scared, honestly, when my third eye awakened, because I saw things, spirits, creatures of it was very, very scary, but I didn't know I had control over it. I didn't know that these other things were aspects of myself that I was seeing in this reality. That, your mind is going to create these things, these dark things out of aspects of itself. They're still you, right? So I wasn't aware of that at the time. I didn't understand that I could shut them off if I wanted to. And I ended up shutting them off out of fear, and then kind of shutting down my third eye altogether. So I think a lot of people do this when they first awaken, is they start experiencing through dreams, through seeing things, through visions, through predicting the future, things like that, and it really freaks them out, and then they just shut it all off because they think it's something not natural, when it very much is natural. But there can be a point of where it's very hard to live a human existence if it's on all the time, or if it's very strong. So you can tailor it back. You can turn it on or off, up and down, depending on whatever it is. And you can set, and I was just going over this with a client literally yesterday. You can set the rules. You can set the rules on what you do and do not want to experience, and what you do and do not want to see. I have a rule now that I will not see spirits here. I'm done with that. Not gonna do it no more, because I've had things move in my house. I've had things literally seen objects fly across the room, light flickers, all that BS. I've seen creatures in this realm, and we were done with it. We don't want to do it out no more. Because yes, there is a human part of me that is just this is not what I want to see. So we've shut that off. And that's pretty much why I don't like to do a lot of mediumship stuff, because when you open up that door, it's a hard bridge for me to balance. Anyway, so you can control what you can and you do and do not want to turn on or off with channeling. I kind of went more on the psychic side of that. But channeling, like, if you don't turn it off, that script will just keep going. The messages will just keep going, and you can draw boundaries. So, connecting with negative energy. Okay, so we kind of went over that already. Negative energy is just different aspects of you, and you assign the negativity to that energy based upon your humanness or your level of perception. So you're the thing labeling things as good or bad, right? Based upon a feeling, based upon your experiences, what life has told you. It's basically your perception of life. So you can experience lower level energies and look at them as teachers rather than negative. It's all just is. We're all the isness, the essence of this energy, this one mind experiencing itself in this realm of existence, right? It's neither good nor bad. It just exists. We're the ones assigning the rules to it, right? So you get to choose what you want to experience. And truly, if you're going to see like channeling negative energies as negative and scary, then that's what it's going to be. If you're going to see it as another aspect of yourself and wanting to learn from it, wanting to actually like shine some light on it and just be like, what is this energy trying to tell me? What does it mean to me? What can I learn from this and evolve from this energy, right? So you can think of it like shadow work or something like that. But channeling it is a different form of it being expressed in this reality. So it's a little bit, I want to say deeper, because it's more of a physical form coming through. You can definitely feel it. So that's the negative aspect of it. I don't think of channeling as negative ever. One of the last ones, you're crazy. Potentially. I'm just kidding, guys. I thought this quite a bit when I was first awakening, and I'm just going to compare it to all of spirituality. You do think you're crazy because you see a light shown on a different aspect of life. You see life differently than what most people do. Because of your, you've expanded your consciousness, you're learning more, your perception of life is changing. Your reality is changing. Once you see and experience these things, and especially with channeling, I feel like channeling is more of a physical experience because you're actually feeling it and experiencing it in the body, which actually is like I want to say the number one thing to move energy the quickest is when you're consciously aware of what you're doing and experiencing in the physical. It will shift your energy the quickest because you're actually like feeling it, seeing it. These things are happening. These experiences are happening to you physically in the body. You're feeling it, right? So it can feel crazy, and it can feel like when I first channeled, when I started getting messages coming through, not the one I was talking about earlier, but I had like my first actual time of being conscious of channeling, and this was before I actually learned about it. And this is the crazy thing too, guys, and why I'm so strong and believing, I don't want to say believing, but knowing about this and knowing that this is 100% true is because these experiences happened to me before I was even educated on what this stuff was. I learned after, and I pieced together the puzzle. I don't know if that's how a lot of people learn, or like they read and then they experience, but I've done it both ways. But most of the time when I was first starting out on my spiritual journey and awakened, these things were happening just through deep meditations and energy work, pretty much. I was doing Reiki and energy work and meditating, and these things were happening, but I wasn't aware of what they were. I had to go learn about them later. So one of like my first experiences channeling, and when I was getting, and like I said, I didn't set the intention to channel, but I started getting messages coming through on meditation, on actually like energy work, and getting knowledge and wisdom coming through. And I was asking questions and I was getting an answer in return. And I was like, holy shit, how do I know this? Like, how, like, this is not like how I knew that it wasn't coming from me, and where I was thrown off was because the language that was coming through was different. So what I mean by language is the way that it was talking was not my tone of voice. And the way that my words were almost like, I don't want to say slurring, but I was accentuating my S's, and my words were a little jumbled. It was almost, and I even asked, I'm like, why am I talking like this? And the message I instantly got was, it's like Google Translator. It's not going to be exactly perfect because we're speaking to you in vibration, and this is the way that your mind is translating the messages. And literally my S's were like, I was like, what the fuck? Like I literally thought I was going crazy. So I can see this, you know, but now I'm educated on it and I understand what has happened. I look back on my experience and I'm like, oh my gosh, yeah, that was it. Like that was what was going on. But yeah, I was getting messages coming through on such deep wisdom, and why I'm so passionate and into energy work is because they gave me a bunch of knowledge. However it is that I'm connected to this realm or this thing in another dimension, it gives me all like a crap ton of knowledge about energy work. For some reason. I don't know how I connected to it. So yes, you can think you're crazy, but you're not. We're just not educated on these things, and that's where people think that they're crazy, is the lack of education. So it's you needing to build your confidence in it and actually just keep channeling and keep developing out that connection, and then learning about it. So like set the intention to actually learn more about it, and what you're going to find is that the universe will give you breadcrumbs to actually bring into your conscious awareness of learning that will help you develop out the channeling connection, to help you understand how normal it actually is being a human and channeling in this realm of existence in whichever way you want to. So that can come in the form of books coming into your reality. That can come in the form of like podcasts, of YouTube videos, you know, things of that nature. That is how it's going to help breadcrumb these things into your awareness. Because like if you're asking for help, and this is just with anything really, guys, it's going to come when you ask, you receive. So it's going to come in the form that you can receive it. And it might not be instantly like that, you know, it might be like days later you come across the book. You might become, you know, days later you come across the YouTube video, and that's how you were able to receive it at the time. So I think I touched on everything that I wanted to, guys. I was all over the map. This was very, what is the word I want to look for? I just wrote down the myths. So I didn't script out anything else besides the myths. So this was very authentic, very fluid. So a lot of things came to ideas. So I'm sorry if this is a very long video or kind of maybe sporadic, but I really wanted to debunk some myths around this, because I see it all the time in the spiritual shop and when I work on the weekends, and even like my conversations with people. They're trying to develop out their psychic abilities. They're trying to like learn about this stuff, and they just don't have the confidence in them, or they don't have the knowledge, and this, or that they think this stuff is evil, or, you know, crap like that. And it's not. It's a very normal human thing to be doing. Our life is this, guys. That is what we need to understand. Your life is your thoughts. The idea that is you. This physical reality, your body, it's a physical manifestation of thoughts, right? So anyway, trying to normalize this stuff, guys. But hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, give my channel a like, thumbs up, really helps me grow, develop out that community, and drop in the comments below if you have any questions or if you want me to make certain videos on this stuff. So with that being said, I'm sending you all of my light and all of my love. We'll see ya.